Now I think now working more in cinema, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about what you do now in cinema, how you help artists, what you do, and maybe some interesting stories.
Yeah, I did on camera stuff, a lot of on camera, where a band's playing to the camera, and they've got a. But in general, we would make a record, put it on CD, then give it to the sound man, and then you'd fake it. You'd play like mimicking the record that they're playing back.
Mhm.
And then later on they put the audio with the picture and they cut it to fit. That was a lot, and it took me a lot to get artists to remember that the one scene they're going to take is the one scene where somebody's picking their nose or making funny jokes instead of playing to the camera. So I'm constantly like a babysitter. I'm constantly going, come on, play it the way, play it again. I know this is the 25th time, but play it again because the camera's over here and you're just in the background right here, and we don't want to have you stop playing or talk to somebody or giggle when you're supposed to be singing, you know. So it's different. And then when I did the last movie that Jonathan Demme ever did, and I did Philadelphia with him, and Silence of the Lambs with him, and he was the guy that directed Stop Making Sense. I did that with him, and then to show you later Something Wild over there, on the wall there. That was Jonathan's, and he wanted in his last movie to have all the music be live. And on a movie set, you don't do that because there's too much noise going on, and everything's going to be live. You know, it's like, how can you? Everybody's got to go and not make a sound because I will put that in later. You know, so you have to teach people in the set how to do that. And it was Meryl Streep, right? Was the lead. It was Ricky and the Flash. She was the lead singer and the main focus, and it was Rick Springfield, who was a big soap opera star and came out of a band in Australia called Zooks. And it just so happened that when he first came to Australia, before he became a soap opera star, he had been signed by Capitol. And they came over, and I was the first guy to produce and work with them. And he remembered that, you know, after we sat down and talked. So I get him on bookends, you know, now and back then, 40 years ago, when he first started. And we had to do it live. So we were hiding microphones and doing things direct and stuff that came out the speakers because everybody had to hear, you know, they had to hear themselves like in live. They had headphones and not monitors, but they had monitors on the floor, not headphones, because it was a different time. And they had monitors on the floor, and they had to play and sing and hear what they were doing. And so when we went to edit, every scene that they edited was different than the song they had been playing. So we had to go in. I went in with my engineer, and we know how to do that stuff, and we totally created a track that matched picture. And their sound person couldn't do it because they had this stock CD that had the same music every time, and everybody was always singing to that same piece of music. But when you're doing it live, every piece of music is different. Every time you open your mouth and sing, it's a new look, a new feel, a new move, a new everything. So we had to finish. It took us 6 months to lock everything up and do that and that kind of stuff. And a lot of times they ask us to write for a movie and do that kind of thing or something. And sometimes I'm sitting on a set waiting to do my job, and they say, hey, you want to go wrangle turtles? And so when I worked on Beloved for Oprah Winfrey, I was supposed to do some scenes for them, and they weren't ready for them. And I was there for a month. And I worked a total of like 5 days. But they didn't know when they needed me. It's a movie, so they can't go, we want to do it. Oh, but Mark's not here. We got to fly him out from LA. So they put me in a hotel, had me on the set, and then when they were ready, they said, okay, we're going to be doing this tomorrow. And I went and prepped and set up. But while I was waiting, they said, hey, we're going to go do some second unit stuff, which is second unit directors. They don't have the stars in there, but they have scenes that need to be inserted, right? And there's a scene in Beloved that from the book where she dreams about turtles fucking, of all things. So I went and they gave me waist boots, and I went into a pond that went kind of up to here, and they had a guy in animatronics with the foot pedals and two fake turtles, and this and fingers and doing this and like that, and the turtles are going, you know, doing that and all that. But they wanted other turtles, so they gave each of us a little a fishing line, clear fishing line on each finger, and tied them to turtles. And so we'd go like this, and they go, okay, we're rolling, and we'd let them swim, and they'd swim towards the other turtles, and they go, okay, cut, and we'd pull them back, and swim, and that was all day. I was wrangling turtles, so for Oprah Winfrey, and it's a scene that's like 4 or 5 seconds in the movie, you know, but I spent the whole day pulling and pushing little different sized turtles. So, and movies are different, you know, movies are all, I mean, this was a movie, that was a movie, that was a movie, and that was a movie. And there's a lot of other movies that were done. But this one we spent 2.5 years doing. And there's a scene in this movie where they're playing in front of the galaxy of stars. They're playing to a big audience of 10,000 people. Well, we were on a movie set at Paramount Studios, and it was at that time it was the biggest green screen in the world. It was enormous. Well, when we were at the fairgrounds where we did a lot of these scenes, I had to go and take 200 people and sit them here and record them, and with camera and everything, and then switch them around and put them up back behind them, and did that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did it 12 times with 200 people, moving them around so you didn't see the same shirt in the front row and all that stuff. And you had to play the music back and record the thing, and then they digitally put it all together, and then they put it against this green screen. So we're filming from behind the band that's up on a platform with the green screen in front of them, and we're filming from behind them. So you're seeing their back, and you're seeing 10,000 people on the other side. What I insist upon when I'm going to do when I'm going to record a live show with cameras and stuff, you want to stay out of the crowd. So what I do is with rehearsal, I get all the cameras up really close. They're in the clothes they're going to wear for the show, and we record them playing and playing and playing everything with close-up shots of the singer and things, and walking through the band, everything that the audience will never see. And then when you shoot the show, they have cleaned up what they wore, and you back up and you put your cameras for the long shot, and then when you edit all those close-ups that didn't need an audience, because you could just have the sound of the audience, right? And you could cut them into the show. And that helps make it a lot more professional, you know? And then sometimes the making of when you're walking down the hall or you're doing something like that kind of fit in to that, because it's kind of like guerrilla shooting, and it's cool in a video.